Since we last spoke, I've been working on a lot of big projects. I've been working on a really big house at the moment, 3 stories, just really big places. That's exciting to see, to be honest.
I left my last job that I was working on, that got completed, and then I started a new job in not too far away from my house, about half an hour, and I've been there for about 3 months-ish. The types of work we're going to be doing on the job is sockets, lights, data, fire alarms, everything that you could possibly do on an electrical installation.
I'm quite interested in inspection and testing, which is what I've been doing for the past 3.5, 4 months, because it sort of shows you the ins and outs of the electrics, helps you understand it more. Like when you're doing just wiring and stuff, general on-site stuff, you're just doing as you're told. But when you do testing and stuff, you sort of get the readings and you understand why that reading's coming up too high and why that reading's not, too low or something. It sort of shows you the ins and outs rather than just slapping stuff on a wall.
I think the fact that I've been on the same job for near enough 2 years and that had just finished, I feel like because I'd seen it from start to finish, I feel like seeing the progression of that, I've literally seen everything from first fixing to second fixing to the whole completion of the job, and I feel like that's developed me a lot.
So Jay is an interesting one. Jay was floating, just finished off a project and he became available, so we put him with the testing team, and actually 2 weeks in he emailed me and he said, "Keiron, can I just stay in the testing team? I really don't want to work anywhere else, I love it." So speaking to his line manager earlier, he's getting on really well, and hopefully, longer term he will become a test engineer, but who knows. Charlie is still working in our technical services team. I spoke to his line manager and he said to me that he's probably going to be working on his own jobs very soon, within reason obviously, because he's got to be able to do that safely, but he can see him running his own projects in the future.
College training in the past few years and on more recent times as well, I feel like we're learning a lot more advanced things, so it's definitely affecting me on site. I feel a lot more competent on my own, so I feel like I've got more of a sense of the whole electrical trade just because of college.
College has prepared me well because it helps you see things from more of a scientific side, because obviously it's good just wiring stuff, but it's also good to know why you're wiring it in certain sizes, lengths of run, so it opens up a completely new perspective onto the work you're doing.
I think the guys have still got to learn independence and responsibility. Obviously that comes over time, and responsibility comes with a skill set as well. But often you find that if you give somebody responsibility, they either sink or swim, and it does mature people when they have more responsibility. So at the moment there's no responsibility on them other than they got to get through their apprenticeship, but ideally we need to put more responsibility on them as time goes on so they can develop themselves and excel in what they're doing.
When my apprenticeship's finished, I want to sort of build on my career and sort of get to a point where I'm managing more than just myself like I am at the moment. Sort of maybe make my way higher up in the company, or, take a route like that.
My current pathway, I think I'll just definitely stay with Darke Taylor. I don't see any reasons to change. I'm happy where I am. Wherever the path takes me, I'll see where it goes in the future.
So I'll pick Jay again. So hopefully Jay, we're going to be implementing a new rule for our first year apprentices around second fixing outlets. And I really would like Jay, as one of our test engineers, to go around the jobs and be one of those people that polices the way in which we do that. So Jay, if we could put that on Jay to give him responsibility around that, that'd be fantastic. And Charlie, the things that really excel people in technical services are an engineer that can do everything. So if we can cross-train him on fire security, CCTV, access control, intruder alarm, get him involved in some of the energy solution stuff that we do, and really get him up as a well-rounded engineer, working in technical services, he could really excel.
I've been told the apprenticeship's quite tough with college and stuff, but I believe if you just keep your head down and get on with the work, then it won't be as hard. But I've picked to do electrics, and it's something that I enjoy, so I learn better because I want to listen and I want to learn more. It feels really strange knowing that I don't know what I know now. at that point I was just sort of walking into a completely new career, a whole sort of new life really. This is what you're going to do for life, so yeah, it feels strange looking back at it.
I think, speaking to myself in a year, I'll just say right now that you need to knuckle down at college. You need to make sure that you're learning, not messing about with your mates. Complete your first year, get all the units done, and hopefully at the end of it I'll look back at this and be like, yeah, I completed that. If I could speak to myself with the knowledge I have now, back then, I would have just told myself to, again, knuckle down at college and just keep going, because now I'm at this point, I feel so much more progressed, and because I've been doing well at college, I feel a lot better about everything in the apprenticeship.
I could see myself working for Darke Taylor my whole life. As even Keiron, director, he started off as an apprentice, so there's a lot of opportunities for apprentices in Darke Taylor to work their way up and get higher up.
I think, speaking to myself in a year, I'll just say right now that you need to knuckle down at college. You need to make sure that you're learning, not messing about with your mates. Complete your first year, get all the units done, and hopefully at the end of it I'll look back at this and be like, yeah, I completed that.
Yeah, it's quite interesting actually, because you think about some of the things that they say, and I can actually see myself in them a little bit when I was their age. Particularly Jay, when he said about me, obviously that's quite personal, isn't it? And Charlie's interesting as well, because Charlie mentions about how difficult it's going to be at college and stuff, and he says, I just got to get my head down. We've had a few ups and downs, and hopefully, he will look back at that and see that he's got through it. So it's quite interesting to hear and see, go back, it isn't that long ago really, but I think they've developed as two people since this was filmed. I think it's fair to say.